First entry into the vlog, but I have some very good news. Last night was the first time I wrote for a long period of time and actually got stuff done. I wrote just shy of 2,000 words, and that was the most words I've written in one sitting since the end of January. And then I wrote an additional 1,000 today on my lunch break. I feel like I finally have broken past the parts that were kind of causing me trouble pacing wise, and I just forced myself to get through it. And now I just finished writing a chapter in one of the girls' main point of view. I've shown you guys the names before, but I just never really mentioned them. But Rami, she is, if I'm being a little biased, she's probably my favorite character, though I enjoy all four of them. But Rami, we get each other on a spiritual level, and I just love her, and she's really fun to write. She's actually a courtesan, so there's that, but she's a smart courtesan, so she studied history and stuff. That's a little insight into her character. And she's actually the one that I spoke about in my last writing vlog, where she ended up having kind of a Dany and Jorah from Game of Thrones relationship with the other main character that I wanted her to have a relationship with. But I finally wrote a scene today, and it put them back into a gray area, and I really like how their dialogue turned out. They said some really great things to each other that kind of blurred the lines of what exactly they're going to be, and I really like that kind of are they or aren't they, slow burn, but they really shouldn't be together, can't be together for reasons. I really like relationships like that, so of course there has to be one in the book I'm writing. Tonight I'm gonna start writing the chapter where they get attacked. All of their whole group gets attacked in the desert. So I don't know, is that spoilery? I mean, I guess stuff has to happen in the desert, so I guess that's not really a spoiler. When I was thinking about how I was mapping it out in my head, how it was possibly going to go, and like it can go in two different directions by the end of the attack. Like it could go one way with the story, or it could go another way with the story, which is how I originally planned it. And that's the shorter way, because if I go in the other direction, story is going to be longer. And and it's already, oh, that's another thing. I am officially past 80,000 words in this first draft. So I've officially written more words in this book than I did in my Little Red Riding Hood story, which was 77,000 at its final end, edits and everything. I'm still going to be trying to wrap this book up within the next 20,000 words because I don't want it to be more than 100,000, but it looks like it's going to be, so that's just more work for me in the edit stage. For Camp NaNoWriMo, I'll be low-key participating. I'm mostly just going to be working on editing the first draft, hopefully. Cross my fingers. I'm also going to be filling in character sheets just so that I have a better idea before I go back into edits, of a better idea of the story, of the characters, of the tone, of the world building, as well as the cultures, because there's two different cultures in this book, and as well as like the slight magic system. I have a lot of work to do, obviously. So I am fully back into the writing mode, and I'm just really excited. I spent the past 4 days back home at my parents' house, and I just got right back into writing, and I'm really enjoying everything. I really am feeling like I'll be finishing the first draft here before Camp NaNoWriMo starts. I wrote, I think, like 800 words today on my lunch break, and I'm going to do some more writing here right now. When I was home, I did go to TJ Maxx, and I got some more notebooks because it's just what I do. I just collect a lot of notebooks. Also, over the weekend, I created a map. It's super rough, so I'm not really wanting to share it, and I also think I'm going to be reorganizing it, but I just threw something together just so that I could kind of see what's going on in the world. So far, my characters are in the third country that is being featured, and one of the countries doesn't even have a name, but the two main countries do have names for them. But I want to start exploring the whole world as a whole, if that makes sense. I just want a more broadened sense of what this world is like, who lives in this world, what countries there are, what each country kind of brings to the table. I posted these on Instagram, but I'll show you what I got. So I got this one, it's pineapple, and it's like kind of the metallic gold. I've said this pretty much in every video I've ever talked about notebooks. I like spirals because it's easier for me to write in spirals when I can flap it open and flap it around. It's really cute on the inside. Has some salmon colors here. So do I know what I'm going to be using this notebook for yet? The next one I got was this one. Also kind of has gold metallic going on here. I also like the triangle shapes, so that's pretty much why I got that one as well. And on the inside of this one is kind of mint green and also spiral. The next thing I got was a to-do list because it's brown paper. I have a lot of these type of ripaways and with just like lines on it. I use it for grocery lists. I use it for to-do lists. And then the next one I got, I really love the saying. It takes a lot for me to really like a saying on a notebook, on a planner, on anything. And this one is also metallic-y, and it says, "The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me." I'm like, that's the notebook. I just need to get it. It's bigger than the other two that I got. Don't know what I'm using them for yet, but you can never have too many notebooks. I'm going to continue writing. I'm almost done with the current chapter I'm writing, and then I'm getting to a super dark chapter within the next couple ones. I don't know what perspective yet I'm going to be writing the next chapter in. So I guess we'll see kind of what I'm feeling, because that's kind of how this process is going for me. With the 4 POVs, there are certain scenes that I know belong to certain characters, but for the most part, I'm mostly just following the plot first. So then when I finish one chapter and I'm thinking about what's all happening in the next chapter, I'm thinking whose character is best to tell this part of the story. So far, every character that I've chosen for each POV of the plot line has been working really well. So I'm going to try to stick with that. You know what? I kind of miss querying. I really liked the thrill of all of that over the summer of last year, and I want to get back to that. I am hamming so much right now. I had a really good thing going last week where I wrote about 5,000 something words. Camp NaNoWriMo starts on Saturday, and I am doing it this year. So I'm really trying to finish this first draft, and it's just, I'm going through like the same feelings I felt the first time, the first book I wrote, which was the Red Riding Hood story. It was around like this percentage where I was feeling really hard to push myself through, less than 4 chapters and short chapters away from the climax, which is the plot twist of this book, and it's just like so close. I just need to get there. I have an idea of how this first draft's gonna end, but I don't know how it's going to end, if that makes sense. I don't think that made sense at all. I have a general idea, but getting there is the best part, and I felt like that was the same way with the first book I wrote. I knew the general idea of how it was going to end. I just didn't know what were the scenes that were going to make it end. But I did want to say that I created a writing blog, and I will link it down below. If you follow my writing a lot here on my channel, I would highly suggest following me on my blog. It is LRKress at wordpress.com. That is my name, more or less. So I'm going to link that down below. You guys should really check it out. I have already uploaded a few posts already. One of them is how I've announced that I'm going to be doing Camp NaNoWriMo. I have no intention of quitting my writing vlogs because I really enjoy doing my monthly writing vlogs. It's kind of become a habit for me. There's just some things I want to talk about that just translate better if I write it out. So that's kind of why I decided to make a writing blog. That is what it looks like right now. So I just have like me and the blog that I've done so far. That was my welcome message. I'm trying to finish this first draft before Camp NaNoWriMo starts, and I'm going to print it out on this printer. I'm about at 300 pages in my Word doc, and that is double spaced. This is longer than the finished product of the Red Riding Hood story was, because that was 77,000 words. This, I'm already at 85,000 words, so it's going to be long. I have 2 major goals for Camp NaNoWriMo. The first one is to print it out and mark it all the way through one time. I'm also wanting to fill out my story binder, which I've talked about in my how to nano after nano video. I'll link that down below as well. You can kind of see it on my chair over here. It's that thing right there, but it's just a bunch of empty writing worksheets I need to fill out just so that I have a better idea of my story going back into it. I want to have everything laid out because there are some things that I've changed halfway through, and I'm just going to need to know that as I go back to edit all the things that are wrong. So I'm about 1,000 words into my writing for tonight. I think I've hit my stride right now with the scene that I'm working on. My goal tonight is to write 2 chapters, and I don't know how long that will take me, how many words that would be. I'm going to Beauty and the Beast tonight with my friend, and we're not going to a later movie, so I have some time to write before that because I'm a wuss, so after we get out of the movie, I'm probably going to want to go to bed. I just want this first draft to be over. I also just think, like, right now, collectively, I'm, like, not writing very well. Like, I'm writing pretty basically for the past 10,000 words, and I'm not exactly happy with myself that I'm doing that, but it's like I don't even know I'm doing it until I'm 10,000 words into the crappy writing, and I'm like, what the hell have I been writing? It's a little discouraging right now because I'm like, I know that's not really how I write, but somehow I'm like writing that way for some reason. I'm also really happy that Camo NaNoWriMo starts on a Saturday because I hate when actual NaNoWriMo starts on a weekday because I work, so I don't even get to start writing until the night, and that's just really annoying. I set up my Camo NaNoWriMo project on the website. So I like that this year, I don't know if this was the first year they've done it, but you don't have to put in a word count goal. You can do chapters or hours or lines, whatever is most helpful for you to attain your goals. And I decided to do hours. I set my goal for 100 hours worked for the month of April. I'm doing that because I'm really pushing myself this month. I feel like I'm kind of behind schedule of where I wanted to be right now at this project. I wanted to definitely write the first draft a lot faster than 4 months. Is that 5 months? What? No. November, December, January, February, March. 5 months. Yeah, I definitely want it to be way shorter than that. Maybe 100 hours is what I need. I really want to work on it every night for about 2 to 3 hours. The weekends, I'm going to be like a total hermit this coming month, and I'm just going to use my weekends a lot to definitely edit this book. I'm like just shy of 90,000 words. I had a couple more ideas of how I want it to end today at work, so another thing I want to mention is that Riley and I were talking last night about putting up a cabin on Camo NaNoWriMo because that's one of the features with camp, because it's supposed to be like a writer's retreat and you can like connect with other writers through cabins. We decided to make a cabin because we wanted to broaden our writing friends circle more. So we created a cabin and we were able to invite 18 other people. We put out a tweet and we have 18 other people already in the group. So I'm really excited for the cabin. I think more than, you know, a normal person would be for that. Right now it's raining and that's like the perfect writing weather. So I'm gonna crack the windows open a little bit and get that kind of rain smell in here. We're about an hour away from Camo NaNoWriMo, and no, I have not finished my first draft, honestly, and I'm being serious right now. I only need about 1 or 2 more days of writing and then my first draft is done. I am about a chapter away from the climax of the story, and after the climax it falls pretty quickly down and disintegrates. Everything kind of falls apart, and I'm really good at writing those. The one problem I'm having right now is that I have about 3 or 4 different ending ideas, and I don't know which one I want to pursue because each one could mean different plots for possibly a second book. Music-wise, I've been listening to a lot of the suggestions that people have been giving me, but right now I'm like super obsessed with the Hunger Games scores. Like that's all I've been listening to for the past 3 days. It's great because that music, you really see such a journey, not only through each of the albums, but as if you listen to them in order, it's a huge like difference and like a whole journey in and of itself. So I've really been liking writing to those. Camo NaNoWriMo starts at an hour for me. I'm going to be writing right now. I am at like 322 pages on a Word doc, which is around 94,000 words. I have probably another 6,000 to write, so I'm probably just going to be hitting a little under 100,000 or 100,000 or just a little bit more than 100,000. When I hit like 70,000, I wanted to take like 3 characters out of the journey that was traveling with them, so I just stopped mentioning them. So now I have to take like all the dialogue that they had up until that point and give them to possibly other characters, or we rework them so that they fit to other characters. And it's just, it's such a mess. My manuscript is going to be such a mess, and I don't like messes in that sense, so it's going to be really not hard for me to revise, but just like I'd want to revise it like right now and fix it right now. And it's hard for me not to do that like right now while I'm writing. Like, it takes a lot of willpower for me to not go back and start editing. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. How was your writing this month? I'd love to know, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!